So, at the end of the last episode, we found out that our Sphinx mentor is actually our Sphinx overlord. And he is kind of a colossal dick. He has been using us to steal and sell information to both sides, and then wiping our mind about it. Naturally, we're pissed, so we're gonna go after him in one giant colossal showdown. And that tooltip basically told us what we've been doing this entire game. You know, hey, too much life to take down in a straight-up fight, which, admittedly, Jace is kind of terrible at. Hey, and it adds in some more of the cards that add to the mill. Yeah, that is a dick card. An amazing card, but a dick card. And there is the Sphinx's tutelage we've been looking for. So, gotta keep that hand. Yeah, I don't think I would have mulliganed to four or five cards, but keeping 5 or 6 is... Though I have won a game that mulliganed down to 3, but I did do it by keeping useful cards that would let me draw more or pull lands from my deck so that whatever I drew I could play. And he naturally plays his own Sphinx's tutelage. But we got ours down first, so we're technically going to be ahead. He may be able to catch up if he's able to play a second Sphinx's tutelage, but the deck we used for this last match is a little bit more fine-tuned and is actually up in the area of mill I would like. There's a couple of cards I would probably switch out for something more useful, but we don't get to tinker with our deck at all, so we must literally play the hand we are dealt. Void Mage, Phantasm. Void Mage, Phantasm. Opponent has nothing, so let's go with the Void Mage. And yes, it's going to be one of those fights. See what I mean about countering? But at least he hasn't found a way to get rid of the Sphinx's tutelage, so... basically no point in attacking. At this point, we're about 4 cards ahead on the mill. Wait, that was a 1 and a 7, so... 11 cards ahead on the mill. Plus a Psychic Spiral, which is going to hurt, but it's not as necessary. Yeah, that is... that barrier card right there is basically the entire reason that attacking the opponent is pointless, because... and of course he's able to counter the one card that adds to the mill of his deck. And I almost restarted there, but we are ahead. He doesn't have a ton of damage on the board. But yeah, sometimes when a card gets countered, it hurts to the core. At this point, I decide that, you know what, the card doesn't actually matter, just pushing the mill does. Because I don't know how many he has in the deck, because that's one of the things that I haven't really paid attention to. If the opponent's decks are allowed to have more than 4 of a particular card. Other Sphinx's tutelage was milled, but we don't need it at this point. But he played like 2 or 3 of those Clash of Wills within like 5 turns of each other. And if it is only supposed to have 4, and it does have 4, that's 4 out of a 60 card deck, and that it managed to not get milled, it's... naturally, we should hang on to the Traumatize, but it's going to speed it up, even though it's only going to send like 8 cards. But just from a lore perspective, it feels more satisfying to traumatize the guy who's been spending most of this duel getting rid of just about anything that would give even the slightest advantage. Not pressing a ton of damage. But the fact that he hasn't tapped like any blue mana. Yeah, I can't wait to play the Traumatize. And, strangely enough, with all that mana, it doesn't counter it. And divination for what is essentially the final nail in the coffin. And mostly out of spite, I just sent back whatever card. Because I technically need to do nothing. Unless the student bests the master. defeating him, I believe, lifts the seal he's been putting on your mind to prevent our Planeswalker power from awakening, and we teleport ourselves to Raviniga, I believe. Yeah, Raviniga. So, that is the end of Jace's run. Next time we'll be looking at someone a little more fiery. I decided to save Liliana for last because I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy her deck the most, because I do favor Swamp a little bit. There are quite a few neat cards in other colors, but I like playing with the graveyard. It's fun. So, Liliana is going to be saved for last. Next, we take a look at Chandra and her fiery rise to Planeswalker status. See you next time.